This mother lioness is leaving the den to hunt again, but something suddenly makes her stop. One of the cubs is following her, and he should not be here. The lioness immediately turns back toward the den, but the cub keeps following beside her legs. Small, curious, still unaware of the danger around him. The mother walks faster now. The cub walks faster too. And that may become the biggest mistake of his life. Out here, even being seen is dangerous. A passing hyena clan. A leopard moving through the grass. Even another male lion. Any of them could notice the cub. And once that happens, hiding him again becomes almost impossible. But the cub does not understand that. He only sees his mother walking away. The lioness gives a deep growl. The cub slows down for a moment, then follows her again. The mother turns immediately, pushing him gently with her head, trying to force him back toward the den. The cub resists at first, then finally begins walking beside her, back through the tall grass, back toward safety. The lioness keeps looking around while moving, listening carefully. Every second outside the den feels dangerous now. At last, the tall grass opens again, and the hidden den finally appears. 2 more cubs are already waiting inside. The cub quickly runs back inside the den. The other 2 cubs immediately move toward him. Small growls fill the den again. One cub climbs over another. Then another soft fight begins. The lioness watches them silently. The cubs are bigger now, stronger now, and becoming much harder to keep quiet. That is the biggest problem. The mother still has not gone for the hunt, but the cubs are already hungry again. The lioness slowly stands near the entrance of the den. Immediately, the same cub lifts his head, watching her. The mother takes a few steps away. The cub stands again, ready to follow her outside once more. The lioness stops immediately, then lowers herself back into the grass. She cannot risk taking him outside. Not now. Out there, a lone lioness is dangerous on her own. Most smaller predators stay away from her. Even hyenas think carefully before surrounding a healthy lioness alone. But everything changes with cubs beside her. Now she cannot run freely, cannot fight freely, cannot risk being surrounded. Because protecting cubs makes even a strong mother vulnerable. So the lioness waits again, and time slowly passes around the den. The heat grows stronger. The air becomes dry. The lioness breathes heavily now. She is thirsty, hungry, exhausted. But still she stays beside the cubs. The cubs slowly begin calming down again. One settles beside another. Then finally, their small movements stop. The lioness keeps watching them for a long moment, making sure they are asleep. Only then does she quietly stand again. This time no cub follows her. the mother slowly disappears into the tall grass. This hidden den is not the first place she has used. Over the last few weeks, the lioness has already moved her cubs from one hiding place to another several times. And this may not be the last move either, because staying too long in one place can become dangerous too. The lioness keeps moving through the tall grass, slowly, carefully. Her body is weaker now. After birth, a mother lioness barely rests. For weeks she has been hunting alone, moving cubs again and again. Watching the den, listening for danger, and all of that has slowly exhausted her. But for the cubs to survive, she cannot stop moving. The lioness reaches a small pond at last. Most of the water is gone now. Only a small muddy area remains. The dry season has become harsher here. The lioness lowers her head carefully, then begins drinking, slowly, washing around her between every few seconds. Small waterholes like this can become dangerous. Predators come here often. Sometimes they wait nearby for something thirsty enough to take the risk. But today, the lioness drinks safely. At last she lifts her head again, then quietly leaves the pond behind. Now she needs food. The lioness keeps moving across the dry plains, but nothing appears. The herds have already moved farther away now, following rain, following greener land. Still, the mother continues searching. Then suddenly, she stops. A leopard is feeding on a young impala beneath a tree. The lioness immediately lowers herself into the grass. This is a rare chance. If she rushes too early, the leopard could drag the kill up the tree. And once that happens, the hunt is lost. So the lioness moves slowly instead, closer, closer. The leopard finally notices her, but now it is too late. The lioness suddenly charges forward. The leopard immediately backs away from the kill. Alone, she cannot risk fighting a hungry lioness. For a moment, the leopard watches from a distance. Maybe she also has cubs waiting somewhere nearby. But this is the wild, and here, power usually decides who eats. The lioness begins feeding quickly, not slowly, not peacefully. Because somewhere behind her, 3 cubs are still alone inside the den. And the older they become, the harder they are to keep hidden. So the lioness eats fast. Then quickly leaves the carcass behind and starts moving back toward the den once again. The lioness moves quickly through the grass now, back toward the den. The hunt is over, but her attention never leaves the cubs. The farther she moves away from them, the greater the danger becomes. At last, the hidden den appears again. The lioness immediately slows down, listening, watching. Then suddenly, she stops. Something is wrong. Only 2 cubs are inside the den. The lioness quickly moves forward, looking around the grass, sniffing the ground. One cub is missing. The mother immediately begins searching around the den. Moving through the nearby grass again and again. She gives soft calls, then listens. Nothing answers her. The lioness searches farther now, faster now. The grass moves around her legs as she circles the area again. But the cub is still gone. Hours slowly pass. The heat begins fading from the plains. Still no sign of the cub. The lioness finally returns back toward the den. The other two cubs remain hidden together beneath the grass. But the mother cannot rest now. Somewhere outside, one cub is alone. Maybe the cub wandered too far from the den. Maybe something noticed him moving through the grass. A hyena, a leopard, even a snake hiding nearby. The lioness keeps looking toward the darkness again and again. Restless now, still listening for even the smallest sound, the lioness suddenly stands again. Then quietly leaves the den once more. The two cubs watch her disappear into the grass. Outside, the plains are becoming darker now. The lioness keeps searching around the area, moving through bush, stopping, listening, but nothing appears. No movement, no sound. The mother keeps walking farther from the den. Then suddenly, she freezes. A small sound reaches her through the grass. Very faint, very weak. A cub. The lioness immediately runs toward the sound, pushing through the bush quickly now. Then finally, she sees him. The missing cub is hiding beneath a small bush, silent, afraid. The lioness immediately lowers her head over him, licking him again and again. The cub quickly presses against her face. Small cries escape him. But the mother does not leave his side, not yet. After a few moments, the lioness gently begins guiding him back through the grass, back toward the den, back toward the others. The two cubs immediately move toward them when they arrive. The missing cub quickly pushes between them again. Then finally, the cubs begin feeding. For now, everything is safe again. But the lioness remains awake, watching the darkness outside the den, because now she understands something. Leaving the cubs alone is becoming more dangerous every day. But staying beside them forever could kill them too. The cubs need food, and the mother cannot hunt properly while trapped beside the den. Sooner or later, something will have to change. Maybe that moment is coming now. Maybe the lioness will finally take the cubs back toward the pride. The same pride she once left behind to protect them. Back then, hiding the cubs was their only chance to survive, especially after new males entered the territory. Male lions sometimes kill cubs that are not their own, and young cubs rarely survive that encounter. That is why the lioness disappeared after giving birth. That is why she kept moving the cubs from one den to another again and again. But now, the cubs are older, louder, harder to hide, and one mother alone cannot protect them forever.